Alright, hi guys, welcome back to PKFX YouTube trading channel. So this is a very quick trade update, and also I'd like to discuss before I go into my trades about this particular trade, which is gold, which I wanted to sell, but I have avoided selling for like 2 times now, and lucky me, the market has been pumping towards the upside, and I want to explain what I saw in the market so that I'm able to document this for future reference. In the reason in why I wanted to enter the sell trade, but I did not enter the sell trade, and I've seen this happening before. Therefore, I believe the previous instinct made me avoid these losses. So, very quickly, XAUUSD gold on daily candlestick pattern. One of the reasons in why I wanted to sell this particular trade is because I saw a clear head and shoulders retesting the neckline pattern, which usually pushes towards the downside. So I saw this shoulder, right? This left shoulder followed by this this head and the right shoulder and a retest of the neckline. So let me just quickly draw this. So this was the starting point. This was pretty much the left shoulder, and I took this as the head, and then I took this as the right shoulder that eventually broke below this particular neckline, right? Confirming the head and shoulders pattern, and a retest of the neckline should eventually dump towards the downside. So this was essentially the plan that I had in my mind. But if I were to go into, let's say, the lower time frames, right? As I was waiting for the entry point when the market was already here, when I saw this particular curvature in the 4-hour candlestick pattern, I take it that the market was already rejecting this particular area that I was interested in. If I were to move this over here, you can see the market on a 4-hour candlestick came all the way up here to confirm the 4-hour EMA as a resistance and then pushed towards the downside, right? So when this happened, I saw a clear rejection candle, and I was about to enter the trade. So I went into the 30 minutes candlestick and I checked for the previous entry point, and I saw this and I was like, okay, the market currently is making a higher high, higher low, and then another higher high, higher low, and I was expecting another higher high, right? But at this point of time, the market did pump above, but then pulled back, and it didn't create a new higher high. In fact, this 2 point is pretty much at the similar point. So this is still the higher high, and this was the higher low. So I need the market to shift bearish. I need the market to break the 30 minutes candlestick pattern, right? And if I go to the 1-hour candlestick pattern, it was pretty much over here, right? So you have the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? I needed it to break this particular line. So this is clearly indicated over here as 30 minutes and 1 hour. So if I were to zoom back into what really happened over here in this particular candle, the market did break below, changing the buyers, the 30 minutes and the 1 hour buyers, from a buy into a sell. Now at this point of time, I could have taken the trade over here for a sell, right? So this is the 30 minutes and this is pretty much the 1 hour. But for some reason, my instinct said, let's give in more time. First, when it broke the 30 minutes candlestick, I said, great, but it didn't really break through significantly, right? This was the previous structure point that it broke, but it was not a significant break, right? It was just barely making into a sell. So I said, you know what? Let's wait for the 1 hour candlestick to also close and the 1 hour to also turn from a buy into a sell. And yes, eventually that's what it did as well. It broke as well. But however, I did not enter immediately because somehow when I put this chart into its proper sizing, right, I can see that from here to here, it's not a significant breakout. So if there was another confirmation candle pumping towards the downside, then it would have made sense for me to enter the trade. But it did not. So I wanted more confirmation, so I waited for this particular trade, and guess what just happened? the market literally reversed and went all the way up here, and it pretty much would have taken me out of my stop loss. Lucky me, I did not enter this trade. In fact, if I were to enter this trade, it would have been somewhat down here, right, entering for this trade, and it would have easily taken me out from the stop loss, right? So I would have lost easily 1% of my portfolio just by entering this, because I thought the lower time frame has shifted. But for some reason, because of my previous losses in gold, I realized that, hey, this for some reason feels very similar. I might as well wait for more confirmation. And because I waited for more confirmation and not just the lower time frame of 30 minutes and 1 hour, I managed to avoid this particular loss. And then it didn't just end over there, right? What happened next is it rallied all the way up here, still holding this particular zone, this particular box over here, and started pulling back. So at that point of time, I went back to the 30 minutes candlestick and I said, hey, okay, great. Now where is the new structure point? So this is the higher high and this is the higher low. So this essentially is the new structure point. So I marked the 30 minutes candle over here saying that, hey, you need to break below here for me to say, okay, great, now I'm going to enter. So the market did pull back and it came all the way here to this particular candle, and I waited for the market to actually break below this 30 minutes candle, and I wanted it to break below this 30 minutes EMA as well to confirm to me, or the market to show its hand first to me saying that, hey, I'm indeed shifting back now, this might be your entry point. I did not rush into the process. I did not see this as a solid pullback to eventually jump into the trade. I kind of waited patiently, and guess what? The market pretty much came all the way here, like literally touched this point, and then flew back up again, once again. I did not rush into this trade. I waited patiently, right? And guess what? The market would have killed me once again. So I avoided another 1% loss just by waiting. Even if I were to enter over here at this particular point, right here, most probably, right, I would have wicked out because of the spread difference over here, something like this, right? So I would have still lost this particular trade. So I did not enter this trade. Lucky me, I'm still here waiting for the particular entry point. And guess what? If I go back to the 4-hour candlestick, the market has been rallying upwards and the 4-hour is now technically a buy. And if I go to the daily candlestick, right, it is in fact breaking the sell trend into a potentially a buy trend. So I avoided the loss because I wanted more confirmation and I was patient on this trade. And if the market closes above here, now the daily also is going to shift bullish. Now at that point of time, I'm probably not going to enter anytime soon. I'm going to monitor what the market does. So let's see what happens, right? So this is something I wanted to document in a video because this is something that I learned as a lesson from the previous losses with gold on how to go about with gold. And even though I did not take a trade, I managed to avoid that loss. So now I can pretty much, delete all this because it's no longer relevant. So I pretty much avoided the loss because I patiently waited for it. And I'm probably going to continue to wait patiently for that, right? As long as it's not breaking below here, there's no reason for me to sell. So that's exactly what I'm going to continue to wait for. And if the market doesn't give me the chance, if the market doesn't give me the opportunity, then I just look elsewhere. I do not take the trade. I do not force the trade, right? So I want the market to show its hand first. So yeah, that is pretty much gold. Despite the fact that on the weekend game plan, I wanted to sell, I have not entered any sell yet. And I see the market is slowly shifting from a sell into a buy. So I'll continue to monitor. Meanwhile, the other two trades that I have, EURJPY is currently ongoing. The market did come all the way down here, but I see that the 4-hour EMA is now holding, right? It kind of reversed. I committed to this particular trade. I said I do not want to close out this trade, and I've already committed a good stop loss where if it hits, I'm completely wrong, and looks like I was not completely wrong for the time being. It reversed up and now it's literally rallying towards the upside. So I'll see how it closes over here, and I'm probably going to continue to hold this particular trade as it's moving as expected, right? Let me just remove this particular line as well as it's no longer relevant. Yeah, this is what I'm expecting it to go to. And USDJPY as well. This is also another trade that is currently rallying towards the upside. which is exactly as predicted, which I'm glad that it's moving towards this side, because as I mentioned previously, I said that I'm expecting the market to break above and then make a pullback and then eventually rally. And the better entry point was actually when it breaks above and makes the pullback. That's when you enter. But as you can see, this particular pattern, it literally broke above, never really made any sort of significant pullback, and it just rallied. In fact, if I go to the 2-hour candlestick, this is the reason in why I entered. I saw a very quick liquidity grab and holding the 2-hour EMA, and then the next push towards the upside, shifting the structure from a sell into a buy for the 2-hour candlestick, and started making a bull flag over here. So I entered here, and this bull flag was further confirmation to me that it's going to pump towards the upside. And when it did, I can clearly see that the market never really came back to my entry point. So in a way, this is a good trade, a fantastic trade, I would say, which I can't conclude yet. It's still ongoing, right? So far, it's good. I understand that any news at any point of time, if the Fed chair comes out tomorrow and he has a explanation which can dump USDJPY back, then if it is what it is, right? But I'm going to continue to hold. I'm going to follow the trend and see how the market closes for this particular trade. So yeah, EURJPY is going on in a profit, and USDJPY is going on in a profit, and currently holding both of it. And XAUUSD, I did not enter the trade because I did not get sufficient confirmation that it's going to go into a sell. So that's about it, guys. That's a very quick trade update, and let's see how the market plays out. All right, thank you so much, and good luck. Take care.